Imagine this. You're walking with your child through a wild forest, when suddenly, a lion appears. You don't know what danger is, so you let your child walk forward, and tragedy strikes. But the next time you see a lion, you hide. You survive. That instant reaction saves you. And this is how your brain evolved. The same fast thinking that once saved your ancestors is the same fast thinking that quietly ruins your life today. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal 7 hidden traps of the mind that most people fall into every single day. And if you stay until the end, you'll know how to break them before they break you. Rule 1. The 2 minds, fast and slow. We have 2 systems of thinking. System 1, fast, emotional, automatic. System 2, slow, logical, deliberate. System 1 kept our ancestors alive, but in the modern world, it makes us paranoid about things that don't matter. It makes us snap at our partner when we should pause. It makes us quit too early when we should endure. And the dangerous part? Most of us don't even realize we're living 90% of our life in System 1 autopilot. If you want control, you must learn when to slow down and when to let instinct guide you. Rule 2. Anchoring. The first number controls you. Let me ask you something. Is the tallest redwood tree more or less than 1,200 feet? Now, what's your best guess at its actual height? If I had asked whether it's more or less than 180 feet, your guess would be dramatically different. This is called anchoring. It's why a $999 TV looks like a deal after you've seen the $2,499 model first. And here's the scary truth. You don't just fall for anchoring in stores. You fall for it in relationships, jobs, and self-worth. If you were told young that you're not smart, that anchor might still be shaping your choices today. But once you see the anchor, you can cut the chain. Rule 3. Availability. Fear what you see most. Turn on the news and you'll hear about plane crashes, terrorism, tragedy. And suddenly, you believe danger is everywhere. But in reality, the odds of dying in a plane crash are 1 in 11 million. You're more likely to die choking on your dinner, but your brain doesn't work on statistics. It works on images. What you see most feels most real. This is why people live in fear instead of peace. And it's why if you constantly fill your mind with negativity, you'll feel like life itself is against you. Protect your mental diet. What you feed your mind is what you'll fear, or what you'll believe. Rule 4. Loss aversion. Why you stay stuck. If I offer you a coin toss, heads you win $1,000, tails you lose $1,000. Most people won't play. Why? Because the pain of losing feels twice as strong as the joy of winning. That's loss aversion. And it's why people stay in bad jobs, bad investments, even bad marriages, because the thought of losing what they already have feels unbearable. Sounds abstract? Watch what happens with something as simple as a coffee mug. In a famous study, researchers handed out a simple coffee mug to half the students in a class. They asked the mug owners, "How much would you sell it for?" Answer, about $7. They asked the students without mugs, "How much would you pay for it?" Answer, about $3. Same mug, same value. But the moment people owned it, losing it felt like a bigger pain than gaining it. This bias controls more of your life than you realize. It convinces you to cling to things that don't serve you anymore. But once you see it, you can start asking, am I holding on because it's truly worth it? Or just because I'm afraid to lose? If you're realizing these traps are real in your life, don't just keep listening. Type in the comments, "I'm ready." Because when you declare it publicly, you've already taken your first step out of autopilot. And if you want more tools to win this battle, subscribe, so you never have to fight these battles alone. Rule 5. Framing. Same truth, different feeling. Imagine your doctor says, "You have a 90% chance of surviving this surgery." You feel hope. Now imagine he says, "You have a 10% chance of dying." You feel fear. Same reality, different framing. Yet here's the thing. You do this to yourself daily. Do you see rejection as proof you're worthless, or as proof you had the courage to try? Do you see failure as a dead end, or as a stepping stone? How you frame the same event can change everything. Rule 6. The sunk cost fallacy. Why you can't let go. Meet John. He's already down $1,000 in Vegas, so he keeps gambling, hoping to win it back. Meet Sarah. She spent 7 years getting a degree she never wanted, but kept working in the field for another decade, just because she'd already invested too much. We laugh at them, but then we look at our own lives. How many times have you kept season tickets you didn't want to use, just because you already paid? How many times have you stayed at a dead-end job because you had too much experience to waste? Not because it was right, but because the sunk cost felt too high, and that's the trap. Your past has nothing to do with what's good for you now. You paid for it, so you keep it. You invested years into it, so you can't walk away. But sunk costs are ghosts. They don't exist anymore, except in your mind. And if you keep feeding those ghosts, they'll haunt your future. But what if you stopped? What if you pulled back the curtain and saw every trick your mind was playing? What if, instead of being the puppet, you became the master? Rule 7. Master the mind, master the game. Your brain is always playing tricks, anchoring you, scaring you, chaining you to the past. Most people live as slaves to those invisible forces, but once you see the patterns, you can break them. Once you learn the rules, you don't just play the game, you bend it. The mind can be your cage or your greatest weapon. The choice is yours. The moment you see the strings, the moment you feel the cage unlock, that's the moment your life stops being run by fear, by habit, by the past. That's the moment you finally take the driver's seat. And from that moment on, nothing can control you but you.